Hey guys, it's Carolyn Cromeens. Welcome back to the Quit Getting Screwed podcast, where we talk about all the ways not to get screwed in the construction industry. And I'm very excited for today's guest, the only other person on this planet that I know is as passionate about helping contractors run a better business and have a better life. Tom Reber with the Contractor Fight, published author, HGTV host, all the good things. Hey Tom, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, great. I'm so excited to have you today.
I love the whole quit getting screwed thing you got going on. Like great for your books and
I
such a
know, and
cool
it's
branding thing there. And I'm you mentioned books, which made me think of that. And then my next book is coming out January 9th,
really awesome.
2024. It's called Sell Unafraid, and
Okay.
we're gonna be hitting it
Is
hard
it
with
all the
that. I'm excited.
secrets?
There's a lot of good shit in there. So it's and it's a little uncommon because there's a lot of stories and sales is mostly about I believe the energy and the empathy you bring, right? And so we
Absolutely.
dig a lot into that. We talk a lot about sadly how most salespeople, I get after people a little bit in this book. Most salespeople are baby birds waiting to be fed by mama bird, Google and the company, and they're not on the hunt like they need to be. So we cover everything in this thing: how to sell with social media and all that. So I'm
Awesome.
fired up. I'm jacked, but it's
That's
great to be here.
exciting.
Anyway,
I
squirrel.
actually, I was looking at your other book already
There you go.
this
Winning
morning.
the contract. Right there you go. Awesome.
Kind of refreshing my memory of the things
Mm-hmm.
that were in there. But okay, so you are the founder. The big thing that you're known for is the Contractor Fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know you started in 2017. Tell me, what is the Contractor Fight and kind of what is the purpose of it?
Yeah, the contractor fight was started with the mission to bring respect and dignity back to the trades. So many contractors are stealing time, money, and memory from their families, from themselves. They work their tails off, as you know, a whole career, and they have nothing to show for it at the end because they don't understand the simple blocking and tackling of the game. Everything starts. The name, the contractor fight, is the 6 inches between our ears. You got to win the battle between your ears, meaning your money mindset, what you believe you're worth. You're not just a contractor, you're a business professional. You're somebody who's adding massive value to people's lives. Take contractors away for a week. What's the world look like?
Yeah.
Just think
Nobody's
about
gonna
that for
build
a minute.
anything.
Stuff ain't getting fixed, stuff's not getting built, problems aren't being solved, and there's a lot more pain in the world. And so I just think we've been on that mission for the past several years, helped millions of contractors around the world, with our podcast and YouTube and free content and our programs and events. And we just want to help people win in life. And we do that, like I said, through coaching and events.
So what is the first step? Like if somebody is, tired of working 80 hours a week and not
Mm-hmm.
having any money and being broke, where do they start? What is the first step?
Well, I think you need to plant your flag that it's going to change. That's the first step. And, really plant your flag and say, the way I'm doing things is not working. And let's get my ego out of the way here and realize there's a different way. And that starts with first owning your crap. And this doesn't mean like you don't shame yourself, but just going, you know what? I don't have any money because I haven't put the time in to learn how to be a business person or how to sell or how to market or how to know my numbers. And so I got to own my crap that I've been lazy with that or procrastinating or whatever. And then do something about that, right? It's like an apology. When you tell somebody you're sorry for doing something and you don't change your behavior, what good's the apology? So own your crap and then plant your flag that going forward, I'm gonna run this company to serve me, to serve my family. And, success is an inside out game. So you got to get your own oxygen. Then you can take care of your family and your people at home. Then you have your company, right? And a lot of people put the company first and not themselves first. And then once part of that is we start with your confidence in your numbers.
Okay.
Then we help you learn how to truly sell in uncommon ways. And then how to get the right eyeballs over and over and over, being attracted to your brand, attracted to your company. And, it's crazy how a lot of people, a lot of contractors say they know how to sell,
Mm-hmm.
but they really don't know how to sell. They're just order takers. They're going out, we want this and this done. And they don't know how to handle objections before those objections come up. They don't know how to have a conversation to really find out why Carolyn wants to do the project at her house. It's, she didn't wake up one day and go, I want to do this. She woke up, like, you're right here. You woke up one day because, man, we have, in our case, we had 2 daughters graduate high school. Our youngest 2 graduated this year, and we were having a party and this and that. And we're like, we needed certain things done because we didn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
We wanted the house to look good. So there's always a deeper level, which we call the motive, that we coach people how to find that motive. And when you connect with that motive, price becomes, not even that relevant when you're attracting the right ideal clients for you. So
Really?
So many pieces to this, but starts with owning your crap.
Well, I know the sales too. And I know another uncommon thing that I've heard, and that is shocking to me as a business owner, but especially guys is what you should do on your markup. What your profit margin should be? What is that?
Yeah. We have a standard that we try to get all of our contractors to. And let me say, we've done this with GCs doing $5 million a year and more. We've done this with painting contractors and everything in between, from startups to established multi-million-dollar companies. Our target is to get you to a 50% gross profit, meaning if it's going to cost me 10 grand to do the job, I'm charging at least 20 grand, whether you're subbing it out, whether you're, doing it all in house. And that is such an area of head trash with contractors because they're concerned with the going rate.
Yeah.
The going rate, there's no way I could do this. And that's what I meant earlier, where you got to win the battle between your ears and go, it's possible to do this. We've got, members, we've got coaches that do, one of the coaches I'm thinking of right now does over $3 million a year, subs everything out at a 50% gross profit. And he's home by 4:30 every day, picking his kids up.
Yeah.
So you can have that quality of life. And that goes back to really planting your flag that I'm worth this. If I'm bringing amazing value to people. Now, if you're charging at 50%, by the way, is not outrageous. Just so y'all know, look at other industries, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bottle of water I'm drinking right now, I guarantee you it didn't cost them what I paid.
Exactly.
It probably cost them 1/10 of what I paid,
Mm-hmm.
and shoes and phones and all these different things. So how much more important is it when you're working on somebody's house that's a $1 million home or a $500,000 home, that you're dialed in and that you're making the money you need to make so that you can add the highest amount of value to people. So higher prices, appropriate priced contractors, meaning 50% kind of our worldview, is unethical if you're not bringing value.
True.
And so many contractors are bringing amazing value and they're left standing with nothing at the end of it. Ask me how I know. I did it for years. So,
Yeah.
and then, so guys, stop caring about the going rate, because 90% of Carolyn, you're dealing with issues guys are having because they didn't charge enough and their contracts are screwed up. And so you're hearing stories like crazy that all started with them just not having enough money.
Yeah.
And so 90% of contractors don't know their numbers. So why would I care what the going rate is?
Exactly. Because you're comparing against somebody who has no idea how to run a business.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because when you start out as a contractor, you're so in love with what you do and that's what you want to go do. But in order to be successful at it, you have to learn the business side of it, right?
Yeah, you want to build stuff and you want to deliver a great experience. You want to bend over backwards and roll the red carpet and be like a concierge in the service that you offer. You can't do that if you don't have profit baked into the job.
Oh,
and
exactly.
I also believe that if you've been in business as a contractor more than 5 years, I'll give you, and you're not putting at least $250 in your pocket a year, you got some work to do.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You deserve to make that amount of money for the risk you're taking.
I agree.
And it's not selfish. It's not greedy. And don't give me this crap, I want to be fair to my customers. It's not fair to your customers that you're broke and can't honor a warranty because you're out of business. It's not fair to your customers that you didn't charge enough. They hired you and now you rush to get to the next job to collect a deposit check for cash flow. Okay.
I had a homeowner on the phone this morning that had paid her guy up to a certain point that he hadn't finished everything, and he was already asking for more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's less and less out there because he's not going to get any money, and so it's bad for everybody if you're not charging enough. You're not going to go to the project if you're not getting paid if you're already behind.
Yep.
It's crazy. And to hear it from the homeowner side too, they're like, this is my house. This is my most personal asset. You promised me to be done in June. We're in August. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
paying rent on another house. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And when you charge enough, you can do what you need to do to finish on time. So you
Absolutely.
said something earlier about your own oxygen. What do you mean
Mm-hmm.
by that?
Take care of you first. I hate the analogy. It's a stupid airplane analogy. The thing if the air thing comes down, put your mask on first. Because if you're not, and I talk about it in my first book there, if how quickly in an airplane, if you don't get oxygen, how quickly you go black, right? You're out. And you're no good to anybody else if you're passed out. And you're no good to your team and your family and the relationships you have, and you're no good to your clients when you're not breathing. And so getting oxygen to me is all about taking care of your machine. Like, hey, let's, to the best of your ability, you don't have to look like a bodybuilder or anything, but be in shape, right? Because it brings more energy and you perform better. Your thinking is clear. Date nights with your spouse, being able to be present when you're with your kids, all these things, take care of you. And then part of the auction is also money. Like I used to run my business in the early days where everyone got paid but me. Mm. I was like a pass-through company for the money. Like it was just 30 grand came in, a bunch went out, and there was $2,500 left. And I'm like, how do I live on this? And I just want to drill it in their heads here that it is not selfish for you to make a shit ton of money as a contractor. It is not selfish for you to say, nothing goes on my schedule before 9 a.m. because I'm going to work out. I'm going to take my kids to school and I'm going to be home at there's always exceptions here and there with certain things in the trades because it's very, unpredictable with weather and crazy clients or whatever it might be, or a guy calls in sick. That's just life, but that shouldn't be the norm.
Yeah.
And I think that's why so many contractors, I don't know, the last time I looked at this number across all small businesses, like, and I think a small business is like 10 million or under or something like that. Mm-hmm. But the average contractor is doing under $1 million. My God, that's funny. a million a year. And they're not even making 100 grand. They're making like 60 grand on average. You can't live on 60 grand. And for those that are going, I'm in a small town, I could live on 60 grand. Okay, you might be able to pay your bills, but you're never going to get ahead. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do when, we live in Colorado Springs and my wife drives a nice BMW. It's like every 6 to 8 weeks, we're replacing or repairing a wheel because of the potholes here.
Yeah.
And that's just a simple thing. Well, what about when your kid needs braces or whatever you want to? I got 5 kids between us and we help each one of them to different degrees. I want to have the freedom to do those things and help my kids pay their rent while they're going to school or whatever it might be. So you're never going to get ahead. And I even think 6 figures a year is not enough because then you figure in what happens, do I want to invest? Do I want to have a retirement? Do I want to have a choice to have a retirement? Do I want to, most of our parents, are aging and most of our parents didn't plan for retirement. So now you're cutting a check to help family members and and you own a business. And I think contracting business is one of the best vehicles in the world to make money.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're operating in big chunks of money. We're not a personal trainer charging $75 an hour trying to build an empire.
Yeah.
Now some have online and stuff like that. I get it. But, I'm
doing some research and the average age of the construction worker is 47 years old, mm-hmm. right? We're getting there, there's tons of room to make tons of money. There's opportunity. I mean, most of the clients I'm dealing with have started their businesses during COVID, right? There was such a boom for residential construction. And I think it's still continuing, especially the remodel contractors. What do you say to those guys that are worried about a recession?
Ignore it. I mean, it's plug for new book. I have a chapter on, the elite salespeople don't get consumed by circumstances. Okay. Circumstances, field conditions are always going to change. I'm a football team. You're a football team. We're going to play and it rains. The field conditions are what they are. We need to control what we can control. And so I think too many times we look at, oh my God, how's the economy? I'm not saying the economy doesn't affect things, but I'm saying we give so much attention to outside circumstances when if you just took control of the things you can control today, I'm going to prospect. I'm going to build relationships. I'm going to build my brand. I'm going to stay on the attack. I'm going to price my work right. I'm going to get sales training. All these, I'm going to have meetings with my team. I'm going to have my contracts in order. So, because that's good defense, right? I don't want people in the end zone on me. And so, and that's why this year at our Mile High event, the whole theme is sell unafraid. It's about stepping on the gas right now. During the Great Recession, when I had my painting company outside of Chicago, we actually raised our prices. I had no work on the book going into the month of December of, I guess it would have been 2008.
Yeah.
I think it was 08. And I was sitting there with my business partner. We had nothing. And we had, at the time, I think we had 12 employees. And within a week, I booked all of December and a little bit into January. And he's like, what did you do? So I was in charge of sales. I said, I doubled our rates.
And you got more clients?
And I filled the calendar, because here's the thing. If you're not confident this is confidence in your numbers. I knew that because we had less leads coming in, I had to make more on the jobs we were winning. And while everybody was racing to the bottom, I was like, how can we provide a better experience? And I needed to charge more in order to still hit our break-even points and things like that. So I don't want to get too in the weeds of math because people start having a seizure. But
no, but who wouldn't love to work less and actually make more money?
Right.
That's the whole.
Then you could serve your customers better.
Mm-hmm.
And in turn, who are they talking to? They're talking to people like them. We all hang out and refer business to people that are like us because we hang with people that are like us. Like I make really good money and so do all of my friends. So when I say to one of my friends, hey, these guys were awesome, you need to call them, they just pick up the phone. They said, Tom said, hire you. Let's go. Yeah, they don't care what the price is. But if you're racing to the bottom and, you're showing up to your sales calls with desperation because you don't have confidence in your numbers and you're not equipped how to sell and connect with people, they're going to subconsciously sniff that out, And
you don't think you're worth what you're asking.
Exactly. Bingo.
They're definitely not going to. Okay, so tell me about your favorite or one of your favorite client success stories.
Oh my God.
I know there's so many. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's
one for an example.
So without naming names, we get a ton. My favorite ones are the messages we get. Dude, we joined your program. Yeah, we made a lot more money. Yeah, the business is running better, but the biggest benefit is it saved my marriage. Like those are the ones that I get the most fired up about because honestly, Carolyn, I don't care about your business because in the big scheme of the things in the world, you can always start another business. You can always find a way to make money. Don't burn your life to the ground. Don't burn your health to the ground. Don't burn your family to the ground. And the amount of financial pressure that's on a business. So when we help somebody save a relationship, that's the thing that fires me up the most. On the pure business side, it's people that have come to us. I'm thinking of one person he came to us in 20. Last year was 22, 21. He came end of 2020. He joined our program like right at the beginning of 2021. Okay, January. He was doing $300,000 a year as a GC. And that year prior to joining, he lost $12,000 and barely paid himself, not even $20,000 that year.
Gotcha.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Within 12 months, he did $2.7 million at a 50% gross profit.
Damn.
And he was putting close to $500,000 in his pocket in 1 year because things can turn around. I could talk about, James because his story's all out there. James came to us kind of in that same boat who he was $1 million in debt and paid it off in 3 years, lost like 80 pounds, shored up things on the home front, and like 4 or 5x'd his personal income within a 3-year period.
Mm.
When most people would have folded and gone bankrupt and just closed the business down, kudos to him. He was one of those people that planted his flag and said, I'm going all in, and I could go 4 hours on
I know the success
story
story.
after story,
So I know you say you
yeah.
have your events coming up, Mile High Profit Summit
Mm-hmm.
in end of September in Denver. Tell us about the event, what the purpose is, who's going to be there. Tell us all the good things.
Yeah, it's a big family gathering is what it is. It's like-minded people that want to do things the right way, that want to, create a stronger legacy going forward. I've been to a lot of events in the trades, and this is our 3rd year doing it. I was adamant about doing things differently at more of a heartsy level. You've been there, so you know what I'm talking about. It's a little bit different. There's every year's a theme. This is a thing I've seen with events is people will have an event and then there's a hodgepodge of topics and speakers, and there's no thread that runs through every talk. And our theme this year is Sell Unafraid. And it's really about looking at everything from numbers to marketing to your sales process to how you personally show up between your ears. All these things combined are all geared towards you scoring more points in your business. This year, we're for the first time, we're doing breakout sessions. And before we've had 300-400 people in the same room. We're still going to have 450 people this year. But then I think on day 2, the whole first half of the day is all breakouts on different topics. We work out together, we play together, we recognize each other. It's truly like a family reunion, even for the first timers, right? The first timers come in and are like, holy cow, this is different. And I can only share what outsiders have told me. Like they've come to me and they're like, dude, I go to a lot of events. The depth of the relationships, the depth of what's shared from the stage, the vulnerability. Like I walked out of there feeling like I'm not alone anymore. And,
Yeah, absolutely. I have to tell you this. So that I was at your first event, and we did a quick intro. But I have to tell you that it felt like I walked home. Like this is where these are my peeps. This is where I belong. It just did that because that's where I grew up. These are the people that the Get Shit Done tribe. That's like these are the people who get shit done. Those are my peeps. And so if you're like-minded and the people that you connect with, it's amazing. It's amazing. You have great speakers. Inspirational speakers. Who did you have last year? You had Marcus
Sheridan, Ben Newman. This year we've got Ben Newman's coming back. People are like, bring him back.
Yes,
this is main stage. We've got a guy named Dan Miller who's doing a whole thing on taking care of your machine, your body.
Awesome.
Which that's a contractor event. Why are you doing that? Right. We've got her call sign is Mace. She's one of the only female Thunderbird fighter pilots. And she's going to talk about stepping into your fears and adversity because, she's jumped into a pretty male-dominated industry there and won at a high level. This year, we have what's called our Elite Package that we're opening up for the first time, which is a private workshop with me, Ben Newman, and Renee Rodriguez, who is an expert on influence. Oh. And if you want to learn how to sell at deeper levels and get others to follow you into war in the sense of just people that want to be on your team, and I'm talking like clients, I'm talking vendors, I'm talking your employees and recruiting, that's a full workshop. And with that package, they get the whole VIP experience with the rest of the event. It's yourself and so many of our other fight coaches are doing breakouts on different topics that are designed to help people win, right now. I just get excited. I just get to be a part of it. Our team at the fight does a great job planning this thing. I just show up and get to be Tom and love up on everybody. Here's one last example on how this event is different. So, Steve Schinholzer, now he's kind of retired, but he comes back and does a little coaching for us here and there because he's of such value. People
are always following him around at your events.
Yeah. Well, Steve, you guys, Steve had a conversation with every single attendee over the course of 3 days. And that's
I
his
believe
mission every year. And at one point, we gave him an award last year, and he stood on stage and says, raise your hand if I've not had a conversation with you. And about 75 hands went up out of the 400 people. And he said, find me. I want to talk to you. Like, that doesn't happen. A lot of events, speakers come in and out, and they just fly in, they do their thing, and they leave. There is so much human to human connection, deeper conversations. And that's the power of any event, I think, is not just what happens in breakouts or the main stage, but the nugget you hear having a conversation while you're working out with somebody or having a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's guys from all over the country that are in the same industry and have the same experiences. Mm-hmm. It's really great. So where can people buy tickets? Where can we get all that information?
milehighprofitsummit.com.
And we'll put it in the show notes and everything else, so you can be there. I'll be there.
Yes,
I know JobTried will be there. So we're actually, JobTried and I are sponsoring the Welcome Night event on Tuesday night.
Thank you for that, by the way.
No, it'll be
That's
fun.
Awesome. Yeah.
Eric and his team are great too.
Yeah,
I've kind of worked with them. They're really great to work with. So.
Good stuff.
All right, dear. Well, thank you for spending the time to be on the show. And like I said, contractorfight.com. All the stuff will be in the show notes where you can get tickets. I hope to see you there. We'll be there. All right, Tom, thank you so much.
Thank you.